Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel on narcissism. If you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button and join our community, which I'm just amazed at how many great people, great comments, and really interesting chatter, even in the chat of the video. So here's the issue today. So many of you say, why can't they change? So let me ask you this. You can't change your personality that much. How do you think they will? Let's say, as an example, let's say you're an extroverted and agreeable person. That's your personality. So could you switch it up and be more antagonistic, introverted and narcissistic tomorrow, or in a week, or in a year? Yeah, that's what I thought. Probably not. Had a great Q&A recently with great questions from my healing community. You ought to come join us if you're interested in a deeper dive on healing. That link is in the video notes, and we have these monthly Q&As. But once again in that Q&A, the age-old question of why don't they change come up? Or rather, can they change? Narcissistic personalities are more rigid than ours because it's a little bit maladaptive. You got that. But let's turn the question around because it can really help you in your sort of progression towards radical acceptance. If you look at work by folks like Sandra Brown and her colleagues, she suggests that the personality style that is at greatest risk of getting sucked into narcissistic or psychopathic relationships is the agreeable style. And that makes sense. Agreeable personalities are modest, empathic, humble, trusting, they follow the rules, they give of themselves to others, lots of equanimity, they're easy to get along with, they compromise. It's as close to an empath personality style as we have in our personality models, like the Big Five model. And we know that narcissists target empaths, mostly because they know they can get away with a lot of stuff with them. So to all of you out there who are agreeable, let me ask you this. How easily would you be able to start becoming unempathic, manipulative, entitled, arrogant, attention-seeking, and hostile? Now, I know that may sound odd, especially on this channel, because those aren't good things to many of us. But we also know those qualities result in people being more likely to make more money or become leaders. Right? If you were to try to be that person, so let's say you tried to be that antagonistic person, roll into the grocery store tomorrow and start yelling at the clerk for not moving faster, or walk around and tell everyone how great you are, or monopolize conversations, or interrupt people, or put hostile comments on people's social media feeds, or take advantage of people, or only care about superficial qualities, or you gaslight your friends. How easy would that be for you to start doing that? How would it feel? Let me try it this way. Maybe all of you aren't watching this aren't agreeable. Maybe some of you are introverted. So let's try that. Introversion is a personality style. Can you change that? Some of you introverts out there are thinking, yeah, I could step out of my comfort zone, go to a few more parties or networking events, talk to a few more strangers. Yeah, I believe you. Yes, you could. And how would you feel afterwards? I'm guessing tired, depleted. Given a choice, would you become a social butterfly and go out 3 or 4 nights a week? Probably not, but you could probably rally from time to time. So, if you can't change your agreeable personality to an antagonistic or narcissistic one, if you can't change your introverted personality to an extroverted one, I really want you to stop and think about the reality or likelihood of the narcissistic person in your life making a change and becoming agreeable and empathic and self-reflective. I know, I can hear you all the way here. Some of you are thinking, well, Dr. Ramani, don't be like that. Being agreeable is good. It's healthy. So agreeable people shouldn't have to want to change. They wouldn't or shouldn't, right? Okay. But we also know, and the research shows us this, agreeable people don't make as much money. And folks like having enough money, right? I agree that from a psychological perspective, agreeable is good for us. I love me agreeable people, right? It is a pro-social trait. It is associated with greater relationship health. It is good for our mental health. It's good for our physical health. It means you cultivate more social support. But it also makes you a greater target for a narcissistic person. And in the long run, being agreeable may also be risky, because all of those sweet, agreeable people out there, you also tend to blame yourselves for what happens in a narcissistic relationship, rather than recognizing that this one's on the narcissist. So you may be thinking, well, is this all subjective or even a value judgment? Does narcissism have its good qualities as well? I don't see it that way. I don't see how being unkind, dismissive, manipulative, or unempathic to other people is ever good for anyone. But given the incivility in the world today, I'm guessing that there's a lot of people out there who disagree with me. The fact is, narcissistic people are really efficient because they don't care about other people and they don't waste time on doing things or helping people or doing anything that doesn't forward their cause, even if other people need their help. They're really good at being negotiators because they can be bullies. They're very manipulative. That also helps when you're doing negotiating as well. Narcissistic people are willing to do what it takes to succeed, even if that means taking advantage of or manipulating other people. And as you can imagine, they succeed. They make lots of money and they kind of run the world. Lots of people would say, well, those seem like good things if you could do all that and run the world. In fact, one could argue that the qualities that comprise narcissism are a veritable modern-day guide to business and professional success. So maybe narcissistic people have as little incentive to change as the agreeable people do. In fact, it is us unfortunate introverts who may be the most incentivized to change because kind of across the board in the research, extroverts fare better. But as a dyed-in-the-wool introvert here, I am good. Me, cat, TV, taken, I'm golden. And if I never again go to another party, I'm fine. It's just easier for me and less exhausting. But I know I can't get away with that in my life. But I also know once a month is about all the heavy social interaction I can handle. And maybe that's that. When you can't understand why, or wonder, why can't the narcissist change? Maybe the easiest way to understand that is to ask the same question of yourself. Can you change your personality, or would you want to? Narcissistic personality is more rigid, so change is much harder. And it's hard enough for the rest of us. I put it this way because lots of people out there assume they can and will change. At least the introverts can show up to the party. You know why they often show up? Because they have empathy and they know it would matter to their friends. But the narcissistic people don't have the empathy as an incentive. The money and the success, though, may be an incentive again for them to not change. Thinking about it this way is a major driver to foster radical acceptance. If you can see it this way, it may be easier for you to radically accept, not from a place of sad resignation, oh, I guess they're not going to change, but, oh, I get it. I can't stop being agreeable. They can't stop being narcissistic. I hope you all get this. And to all of those agreeable introverts out there, I do love you. Do not change a thing. But really think on this, right? Our personalities, they'd be hard for us to change them too. The healthier the personality, the more movement there is for change, right? The healthier we are, we can say, like, okay, I need to get out a little bit more. My friends want to see me. But that introvert will come home and say, oh my, am I exhausted, right? They'll push themselves out of empathy, but that doesn't mean they're going to start going out multiple nights of the week. The hardest part for people who are in narcissistically abusive relationships is them thinking, why can't they change the part that's so mean to me and other people? Because it's part of their personality, right? And then you're thinking, well, if that's the case, then am I being mean by leaving? Well, you can stay, but you're going to continue being treated badly. Or you can have radical acceptance and say, if I do stay, I got to understand that this is how it is. But if you can see your personality and their personality in a similar way, you're going to start seeing how unlikely it is for them to change. Because just as you're not going to go out into the street and start screaming some entitled rant, they're not about to start being sort of super empathic and saying, hey, let's just talk about our feelings and be vulnerable. And yeah, if that's your experience, I completely believe that. That's not going to happen. So it's painful to think that they won't make that change for you. And the problem is for so many survivors, they're thinking, well, maybe it's me, and maybe I have the ability to change their personality. Could a narcissistic person make you less agreeable? No. So why would you be able to do that for them? Hope that helps. Thanks again.